So another game from a Team 45 league. Sicilian defense. Okay, this is not the best way to go about the Smith-Morra Gambit. The best way to go about the Smith-Morra Gambit is to play, let me rephrase that, omit this move and play it right away. See, black has a great move here. Now, there's nothing wrong with taking, but black has a great move, knight f6. Let's see if he does it. Nope. Okay. So let's kind of so I get I get tongue twisted. Let's give you an introduction to the Smith-Morra Gambit. Not everyone knows it. Okay, now what white is gambling on here is that he sacrificed a pawn, but he has open diagonals for both his bishops. They're ready to develop. He has two open files he'll want to put rooks on as soon as he can. And he has a lead in development because black still has to make two pawn moves in order to free his bishops, right? So the game may go something like this. Now this is a tactical mistake. I had a game end like this one time. The guy took here, which is a blunder.
Check.
And then he looked at this and realized he was losing his queen, and he resigned. So there's plenty of traps in this opening. This isn't much better. I'm going to take this.
Check.
Now we go and threaten a fork. Okay. So black has to defend the fork. Now there's three ways to do it. If you play knight here, bishop takes comes in, and then you get the fork. Okay, if you bring your king up to defend the fork,
check.
You get checkmated.
Checkmate.
Kind of funny, huh? Okay. The other alternative is here, but now we take this, and this is a threat. So. Back in 1974, I played a kid named Vince McCambridge, and I got him in this trap. He was rated 1444. Two years later, he was rated over 2200, became an international master. I still see him at tournaments every now and then. Good guy. Okay, so I beat him. Let's see, what did he do here? I think he did do this. And then I took. And he took, and then I checked here.
Check.
And he came out, and I took this.
Check.
And I did this.
Check.
And I won the exchange. And I went on to win the game. Okay. So it's a very tricky opening. Worth studying. Let's back it up. So black needs to play e6 here. Now white castles, and I think the main line is bishop e7, queen e2. There's one, I'll show you this one line. Rook d1. Now there's, back in 1974, the same year, the Smith-Morra Gambit was super popular. Originally it was the Morra Gambit, and this Texas master named Ken Smith, who owned the book retailer Chess Digest, he wrote a pamphlet on it called, attached his name to it, the Smith-Morra Gambit. He'd been playing it for a while, and he played in this international event in 1970, the end of 72, early 73, San Antonio, Texas. It was sponsored by Bill Church, who was the owner of Church's Fried Chicken, and some of the greatest players of that current generation were there: Karpov, Petrosian, and Hort. No, not Hort. Portish. And they annotated Smith was allowed to play, and one of the annotators, somebody played black against Smith. Smith played e4, and I think the guy played e6, and the annotator gave the move a question mark and said, blunder. He could play the Sicilian defense and win a pawn, because Smith will play his gambit. Okay, so funny stories. Anyway, back in 1974, as I was saying, this thing got real popular, and there's this group of Santa Barbara kids who just study chess ferociously, and somebody came up with this idea. Okay, so like I say, the coming ideas are black. White's going to finish his development like this, and there's a whole bunch of pressure down this D file. Okay, so anyway, one of these, someone came up with this idea. Might have even just been a beginner, and this group of Santa Barbara teens got wind of it and started playing it. And I had it played against me by one of these Santa Barbara juniors, and I barely got a draw. I barely escaped. I was like 1850, he was like 1820 or something, and it was a draw. And I'll show you the move in a minute. And I saw countless games during 1974 where this gambit was getting refuted time and time and time again. It was just getting crushed. I mean, you see a 1700 sit there and play it against a 2100. They'd steal the pawn, hang on to it, and win the ending. And the Smith-Morra gambit just vanished. Well, anyway, around 1980, somebody got wind of this line or had heard of it. They were playing at a tournament in Chicago, and they played it. And the author of the annotator of the games bulletin or whatever never saw it before and called it the Chicago defense. Well, it's not the Chicago defense because it was invented 6 years before. There was an article on ChessBase recently about this and calling it the Chicago defense, and I told the whole story of how this thing should be renamed the Santa Barbara defense because those are the kids that developed it, and the leading exponent of that team was junior team was Nicholas DeFermian, who I watched. I first noticed him when he was like a 1500 player, and that guy just cleaned up every rating class he was in. He won C money, he won under 1800 money, he won under 2000 money, under 2200 money. He didn't stop. Three-time U.S. champion, international grandmaster. I'm going to show you the Smith-Morra. I mean the DeFermian defense, and this is it, rook here. Now, a lot of people look at that and go attack the rook, but that just drives the rook where it wants to go. Now, a lot of White's tactics on the D file have been refuted. Okay, and I've used this many times myself in both tournament games and in correspondence games, the old chess by mail, and I won every time with it. Now, it's not so easy. I guess with the advent of computers, they found some lines against it, but I haven't researched it because I don't play the Sicilian. But you can bet that I would probably head for this DeFermian defense. Okay, so kind of a little dissertation on an opening. I have fun when I do this. So, as I mentioned, this is not the best move now to take this pawn, although it's perfectly playable. This is a better move because this throws White off a little bit. Okay, how does it throw him off? Well, his e-pawn is hanging, and we saw the system. This bishop goes here, and it would have to stop at d3. Okay, this knight goes here, and that's impossible. This queen goes here, and that would shut the bishop in. So White's and White can't afford to lose this pawn. I mean, he can take this, but this is just a losing game for White. He has no compensation. Black is winning right now after 5 moves. So if you're going to play the Smith-Morra gambit, don't do it this way. Okay. So anyway, the taking the pawn is acceptable. So now you want to play bishop c4. Yep. Now let's see. I haven't looked at this game yet. Let's see if he goes here. He needs to go here. Okay. This is risky. It is often played in a Smith-Morra, but we do want to get some of this development. We want to get this king closer to being castled. Now, I haven't studied the theory in a long time on this opening, so I don't know. Maybe White could just castle here. I don't think it's wise to go, play for something like this. But I do wonder if this move isn't possible. I don't know if he played that, but see, we see these same things I showed you earlier.
Check.
This wins. Okay, and that's one of the reasons why I think e6 is needed. And if you take here, let's see. Now we don't have this because the queen is protected, but we can play this.
Check.
And black is going to, if he takes with the knight, let's see. White does have a lead in development. He's down a pawn still. The queens are off. I don't know. Let's see. This move is threatened. With some, which, if White could make 2 moves in a row, he has a mate and 2. This is a little risky for black, having nothing out. So it's requires further examination. Now I'm sure somebody has played this move before, and I imagine if you look up theory in the books or the databases, you might find certain things. But being aware of all the tricks and traps in this opening, I'm very suspect of this move. Let's see what White did. He castled. Okay, now I still want to do this. Oh man, do I want to do this? So, but there's one big difference, though. We don't have that knight b5. See, we know this fails, right?
Check.
See, now black can cry and start a new game. Okay. But here...
Check.
Now, if the king takes, we can steal this pawn, and, White's ahead in development. Black has a couple of crummy-looking e-pawns. If we take with the knight, we get something similar to what we just had. Now, here, White doesn't have the knight to b5 line. You can see this pawn prevents it. But, once again, White has some pretty active pieces here for the pawn sacrificed. Not to mention a lead in development. I think this is quite playable for White. If you're going to play this gambit and be willing to give up a pawn, you have to be willing to go into this line. Okay. So now, in some Smith-Morrill lines, I didn't have time to show them all, obviously. A lot of times black does this pin. Okay. But the fact that White has to stop and play h3, to me, says that that White's not sure what he's doing, and I'm trying to help you, White, to play this gambit better. And in a lot of the lines, what happens is, I didn't show you some of the lines. I said it's more precise to play this. Black will continue with his development and get castled, and then later he will play e5, and then and only then will he play bishop g4. Okay, so here he's trying it early by delaying e6. This move is on the table, but that's why I say I think this e5 move cooks this attempt. And now let's just digress for a moment. This is Team 45 League. All games are up for study. In other words, I mentioned you can go to their website. I'm going to post it here in a little bit. So let's see if I have any comments. Let's see. Gotta get to the chat. I don't know if I was posting anything. That's all right. Okay. Let me get back to the board. Okay. What I'm trying to say is that you have access to all these games, and the smart people, and that's you, they're aware of this trick, and if you didn't know it, now you will. You get somebody's game history if you're going to play him, and you try to see what he plays, and try to find a flaw in what he played. I mean, it's happened to me. I played a Simul against a woman international master here, and I drew the game, but it turned out later I didn't play neither of us played the opening properly, and I thought I had a great game, and some guy led me into the same opening, and he got the same advantage she got or missed, but I crossed them up, I played it differently, and I didn't even remember the other game. I didn't have that down pat, so I didn't win the game. It was a draw, but he got an advantage. So you don't want to prep for people. So White's playing a gambit. The purpose of a gambit is to develop. It's not to play defense when you're ahead in development, and it's not even necessary. Let me show you. Whoops, wait, who? Okay, I don't think it's necessary. Let's see. What did he play? He played H3 here. Okay. For one, it looks like White could play this move here. Now, yes, that might allow this, but we have to watch out for this first. Okay. Now, I said the queen wants to go on this square. Now, are we worried about this move? I don't know. Should we be? It's open for more research. But let's see. Suppose we develop this bishop because that's where it goes. And suppose he does pin. Now, we almost have one of these tricks where we can check and check, but we're not on the, we're not attacking the bishop. So, just for the fun of it, let's do this. Let's see if this goes anywhere. It may not because of these double F pawns that are coming.
Check.
Now,
check.
What did I manage to do? I managed to sack a piece for White, and I didn't get enough for it. But how do you know unless you examine this? Okay, so I'm trying to lure Black into playing Bishop G4 and taking advantage of it tactically. There is another idea here. Oh yeah, I see it. Okay, watch this. Maybe I'm onto something here. I don't know if we want this bishop here though. Let's just a second. Let's put the bishop here. Now we're gonna. No, we can't do it. Darn it! I want to play this. I still want to play this.
Checkmate.
I'm trying to do something with this, and I know it can happen in certain positions. Let's see. But the problem is he just takes it here, and we've given away a piece. So I'm wondering if we can combine this any way, shape, or form. Clearly what Black wants to do is play this and double up some pawns. Okay. Let's see. So I'm trying to solve this. This is how they did things in the old days when opening theory was new. They'd sit there and they would play over stuff. What do you see in the position? So, oh wait, let's go back to that idea. No, we don't have enough. We don't have, we don't. I was thinking we can get rid of the knight, but it just doesn't work. Okay, like I could be blind to something. I could be missing something here. But maybe I missed nothing at this part of the game. It's that White missed the E5 move. Kid Cobra will eventually see this video and he will correct himself on how not to play D4, not to play C3 on the fourth move, and he'll be aware of all these other tricks and traps. And like I say, there's a Smith wrote 2 books. They're pamphlets. They're probably still out there. Guess what? They're in English descriptive notation. Pawn to King 4, pawn to Queen Bishop 4, knight to King Bishop 3. That's what I grew up on. It's it's easy for me. So maybe this is a legitimate threat. But let's see how long he took on it. Well, he went pretty quick. See, so 24, 27 seconds. He spent 18 seconds on this move. It's really not enough. So, and this is such a rare line where Black plays A6 that early that I don't think that I'm gambling that white didn't know this opening all that well. So this just costs you a tempo. Black should be fine. Okay, the Phi and Kiddo system is one that's employed in the Smith-Morra. Let's go forward, and white's going through the routine moves that I was explaining earlier. He knows where to put his pieces. And white still does have a lead in development. The question is, does he have enough? See, now, except for this move, white's played this to perfection. Well, he places pieces to perfection. The little oops of c3 on the third move could have been refuted. Okay, so now here's an idea for why you might want the pawn on h3. You can save the bishop, but you don't have to put it here. You could bring it back here and maybe eyeball this square. So, for instance, I would definitely put it on e3. Let's see what he did. Very good. Okay. So, sometimes we see people will push that pawn to bring this back, but okay, white has an idea here. Let me burn a move to make it white's move. We want to play this, and now this queen is very close to becoming trapped. I don't care about this pawn. This queen is what I'm looking for. Where's it going to go? Pick one. You want to go here? I'm going to chase you. You want to go here? I'm going to chase you. You want to come back here? Well, let's see. I'm going to put this rook up here. Now, I don't know if this is all sound or not, but it looks like white is planning to trap the queen with this. Now, maybe the queen can find an exit on b2. Okay. Now we just have to cut that off. Well, no, let's see. We can cut it off with an interference move. Now, I haven't analyzed all this out. I'm just throwing ideas out there. I'm teaching you folks to analyze how to analyze a game. I could spend all evening looking at this game, and I would happily do that. But who's going to watch this video? Okay, so it's, you can do this too. Okay, so anyway, it comes back, and I would still think about going in here if I can get away with it. Now, in that last line, maybe when I had this grab this pawn, maybe this queen could have grabbed that. I overlook stuff. Don't hold that against me. I see the ideas. My idea was, how can I trap that queen? And that's why I really like the Kid Cobra played this move. Okay. Now he's setting up a discovery, but, why didn't you go there? Why didn't you go there here? Okay. I don't know. If you're going to set up a discovery, but I like the idea of pointing at that square. Okay, so now she runs over there. It's too risky to play this. You're going to drop this pawn. Okay. Now it looks like black is going to double up some pawns. Unless you trade queens. White's going to double up some pawns if he trades queens. Okay. These rooks just don't have any activity yet. White's still down his pawn. There's an exit check. I'm starting to like black here. I wouldn't go there. That you're wanting to trade queens. He's not going to trade queens. Let's play here.
Check.
Let's take and I don't care if he comes back, okay? Because I'm just going to park this queen here and try to play solid chess, get caught up in, well, I don't know. We might have problems on the C file. Let's see. So maybe this is no good. Well, I'll come over here now. So maybe we don't even want to check. Let's not even check. So maybe you shouldn't even come over here. But let's just, that walks into this thing again. I don't know. It's tricky stuff. Well, I guess check.
Check.
Lures the bishop off the discovery. Then we come here. Then we have this again. We've got to be careful. Maybe this was hanging before, but this is hanging.
Check.
I mean, there's some crazy stuff here. But with these guys blocking the files, I'm not sure if white has enough for the pawn yet. So he traded. And now we've got the heat here. We can't play rook e8 because of a fork. We can do that.
Check.
Now this pawn may be in danger. Let's play here. I don't like my move. What's wrong with this? Now this knight does. He may have to retreat with a capture, but that's going to give black or white the two bishops. It helps black's development out, but look at this move. Oh wait, no, I'm wrong. We're gonna take this. Okay, well. Can we kick this guy? Now coming here attacks this. But if we cover that, this knight might not get out of there. Well, he's threatening to go here too. So that means we got to come over here. The moment he does this, we take. And now we go trap the knight. Okay. So let's see. So he may need to come back here, but he's on this. And now let's suppose black says turnabout's fair play. I'm going to try to trap your knight. Very, very interesting stuff. Okay. There you go, Kid Cobra. This will keep you busy a few hours of fun. And Bob Hill, both of them.
Check.
Okay, so there's a check. Get out of there.
Check.
Stepping into a pin. Okay. Now, this just helps black. That relieves some of the tension, but I think white's going to get that d6 pawn back. And he has the two bishops. Okay, so I like white all of a sudden. Now, this is loose. Now here, this is not a good idea. So you have the two bishops. Let's keep them on the board. Now, if you can see a forced win with this move, that's fine. But the two bishops are strong. Okay. For now, the c file is blocked, and this bishop on c7 is pinned to the pawn. So what if we do a move like this? Okay, now I don't know. Maybe this is a nuisance. Let's hold that. I don't want to take this knight. This is loose. Wait a minute. Why didn't black play this?
Check.
What am I missing? Now, this defense doesn't work because of this.
Checkmate.
We have to cover this. We're on this. I guess this works out pretty good for white. Okay, so even though the pawn's with check, we can't take it, I don't think. But now let's not do this. Because black is going to take with check. He's going to have the better game. And he didn't do it. Oh, no, he can't. I apologize.
Check.
He ran into this. Okay. But the problem is you're going to bishop opposite colors. And even though you're going to win this pawn, I don't think this is enough. Well, maybe I'm wrong. The rook is tied down to guarding the bishop. Okay.
Check.
But now he can defend with, well, he still can't defend with that. He has a check here.
Check.
And he picks up the G pawn.
Check.
No, he didn't want the G pawn. Okay. So, the problem with opposite colored bishop endings is they're very often drawn. Now, when you have a rook on the board, they're not as easily drawn, but they're still difficult to make progress on. If black feels the pressure, he'll blockade the dark squares. If white feels pressure, he'll blockade the light squares. But look at white's time here. I mean, even blacks, more time they start. Guys, I make a point in most every video to say, you're moving too fast. If there were good moves to have been had, you didn't have time to find them. White's gained what, 20, we'll say approximately 24 minutes with his increment. 24 and 45, 69. He spent 12 minutes on this game at 33 moves. Okay? Go play 15-minute chess. And, if you're not going to get good this way. Top players, all the grandmasters, international masters, FIDE masters, national masters, Canada masters, we all got our titles by playing slow games. The older ones, 40 moves in 2.5 hours. Games 16 moves a minute adjourn after 5 hours of play. The newer generation, FIDE time control, 40 moves in 90 minutes, 30-second increment every move, and 30 additional minutes at move 40. Okay. A 45-minute game with both sides take all their time at move 40, you've used you're in the game 2.5 hours. You guys are barely in here for 45 minutes right now, and the game's almost over. Okay. Number one reason why people lose games, beyond all other reasons, is they move too fast. Now, I'm not watching the clocks here. I'm trying to help. Don't take this personal, but slow down and enjoy chess. You'll get better. Okay? So there's definitely been a lot of double-edged stuff here in the last few moves. And, he who can see it all and calculate it will do better. Now here, I guess maybe he can steal this pawn. Maybe. Now he wants to show the pawn. Let's see. Was this any good?
Check.
Well, I guess now you're going to lose this one down here. Okay, never mind. But black is just going to blockade the dark squares.
Check.
And there's a dark square blockade. White can't penetrate with his rook. Well, white can't make progress. I mean, I can't beat a 1500 player with white here. I can't beat a 1200 player with white here. Okay, I can't. You can't either. Well, you could, but I'm just saying you can't, because you shouldn't. But there's no way white can get past. Black's doing his best to lift that blockade.
Check.
Black is playing for mate.
Check. Check.
Black is playing for mate. Black is still playing for mate. Now we got to watch that pawn all of a sudden. There you go. Now, why does he back up? There's no reason in the world to back up. How much time did he spend on that move? My goodness. He spent 3 minutes. Like I said, I'll never fault someone who takes their time. But I guess white can't push it, but at least not yet. But you are also unprotecting this pawn. And
Check.
I did walk into it, so that pawn's
Check.
going to fall. Or is it? Yeah, it is. He doesn't want it. Why doesn't he want that pawn? What am I missing? Maybe he knows if they trade rooks,
Check.
it's a draw. You know, we can each win each other's H pawns. Anyway. But white doesn't want the pawn on H7. Oh, he was on that. Sorry. Let's see. Okay, I wasn't watching the move. I just saw some other move other than rook takes. Okay, I apologize. And what I showed with a slightly different position is back. Well, black's playing for the win. He's got the extra pawn, but he has to gambit a pawn. That's dangerous here. Let's see. Black might be winning this. Maybe he still wins. Let's see. No, he has this move. Okay. Yeah, got to try to fit. I was hoping that when this bishop came back, I could steal that. But okay, so that explains king b6. Now this is a threat. There it goes. And we have to give that up. But it looks like white's getting back just in time to cut black off. See, for instance, if king here, this comes in. And the king got there just in the nick of time. And looks like game over. Yeah, they agreed to a draw. That was a fascinating game. There was a lot to that. Sorry for the mistakes. I always make mistakes when I analyze. But hopefully you can both learn from it. Kid Cobra, you're capable of finding some good moves, but you got to slow down. Trust me. Okay. Everyone has aspirations to be getting better. I don't want you to get discouraged because your results may not get better if you're playing quick. Okay, so let's see. We got about 5-6 people here. Still good. I'm going to stop the recording.